first sound at Salamis isn't victory. It's oars breaking in the dark.
Inside the strait, an empire's fleet becomes a crowd, trapped in a doorway.
They don't need more ships, only the right angle, at the right second. This wasn't brute force. This was terrain, timing, and deception. Xerxes watches from above and realizes the sea is turning against him.
Themistocles isn't chasing a battle. He's forcing a doorway to close. Numbers don't help when you can't turn. In the strait, every meter is a weapon, and every mistake is permanent. The fleet can't see the trap, only the order to move.
From above, the battle looks like geometry, and the geometry is failing.
But how did this battlefield become a weapon?
The puzzle is simple. How do you make water fight like a wall?
If the Greeks fight in open water, Persian numbers can breathe.
For Athens, the fleet isn't just wood. It's the last door left.
Persia expects the sea to be a highway, and tonight it plans to close the exits.
In a trireme, rhythm is command, and command is survival. If Xerxes waits, Greek unity might crack, so he chooses speed. The trap needs a lock, and Persia thinks it's the one turning the key. Themistocles isn't predicting every move, only the one choice that matters. A message in the night can move fleets more than oars ever will.
Persia commits to the strait because it believes the Greeks are breaking.
Even a perfect plan collapses if the ship leaks.
The Greeks don't need to win everywhere, only at the doorway. From his throne of rock, Xerxes expects the sea to obey. In this narrow water, steering is strategy. A command that arrives late is the same as no command at all.
Even the sea sounds different when the rhythm breaks.
For the people on shore, the battle is sound before it is sight. The plan is not to outfight Persia, it's to outspace it. Some want to run, because running feels safer than being trapped. Themistocles is betting that fear will make Persia hurry. Across the water, Persia's machine turns, orders flowing toward the strait. On a trireme, courage is mostly discipline in the dark.
The trap only works if the Greeks don't blink first.
And then the enemy steps exactly where the map wanted them.
The doorway closes, and the fight becomes a single, crushing corridor. From above, he can see it. His fleet is losing room to exist.
The first thing Persia loses is tempo, and tempo is everything. But how did Themistocles turn this strait into a weapon?
If you want to understand how war shaped our world, stay with us.
If you want the next forgotten world, subscribe, and we'll uncover it together.
The central puzzle is brutal. How does Themistocles turn a narrow strait into a weapon?
He isn't asking to win everywhere, only to control the one doorway that decides the war. Because in open water, Persian numbers can spread, and the Greeks can't.
So the question becomes, can the sea itself cancel an empire's advantage? Persia believes time is on its side until Greek unity breaks. For Xerxes, a decisive victory is not only military, it's political theater. For Athens, the fleet is the last door left between exile and extinction.
In a trireme, rhythm is command, and losing rhythm means losing control.
A perfect plan still fails if the ships can't take the strain.
His gamble is simple. Make Persian numbers collide with Persian space.
But first, he has to solve the harder enemy, his own alliance.
If the fleet disperses, Persia can pick the Greeks apart, one city at a time.
So he chooses a battlefield where nobody can argue once the first ram hits. From Persia's view, containment is clean strategy. Block exits, force decision. But inside a strait, sealing the door can trap the one who seals it.
In this era, a message moves faster than any ship.
Sources differ on the exact deception, but most accounts suggest Themistocles nudges Xerxes toward urgency.
Because urgency inside a choke point isn't speed, it's self-inflicted compression.
The Greeks aren't waiting for luck. They're waiting for the moment the strait starts squeezing.
And Persia answers the first question, strike now!
The second question, where to fight, is answered by the map itself. Inside the strait. Now the third question hangs in the air. Can Persia keep formation under pressure?
Greek discipline turns the strait into a measuring tool, stroke by stroke.
Hold the line! Steady! Give way, Aston! Persian confidence becomes a liability when every extra ship steals maneuver room.
This is how a fleet starts losing, without a single ship sinking.
Themistocles doesn't need Persia to be weak, only to be crowded.
On shore, they can't see tactics. They hear the sea turning into a trap.
From a bowl, the battle stops looking like power and starts looking like traffic. No gore is needed here. The violence is in the motion, the pressure, the lack of space. In a choke point, even a correct decision can be physically impossible.
This is the blueprint. Create a jam, then hit the exposed side.
Greek tempo stays sharp. Persian tempo collapses into noise.
In this fight, steering isn't movement, it's decision-making made visible. For
For Persia, the strait becomes a corridor with no clean forward and no clean back.
The Empire can see the problem, but it can't reverse it fast enough.
This victory isn't luck. It's a controlled answer to a controlled question. In this era, endurance is measured in lungs, water, and discipline. But the strait punishes every late correction, because the corridor is shrinking by the second.
Now it's just one question. Will the enemy keep stepping exactly where you want?
Beat A begins with a simple truth. The strait is a funnel, and funnels decide who can breathe.
Here, visibility isn't constant. Sun glare becomes a weapon measured in heartbeats. Themistocles doesn't need prophecy, only geometry.
If Persia enters in mass, it loses the very space its power depends on.
In a choke point, you don't fight with speed, you fight with controlled bursts.
Familiarity wins here. The crew that knows the corridor survives the corridor.
Terrain is only a weapon if logistics keeps the hands pulling the oars. Beat A ends with one conclusion. The strait punishes the bigger body.
Beat B begins in the dark. Most accounts suggest Themistocles sends a message designed to speed Persia up.
It's not about lying beautifully. It's about shaping the enemy's next choice.
Persia receives a signal it wants to believe. The Greeks are divided, maybe even fleeing.
For Xerxes, urgency promises closure, and closure looks like victory. The battle becomes theater, because the king wants the ending on his schedule. Beat B works when the enemy moves first, by choice.
Shaping choices isn't persuasion. It's locking your own people into one shared plan.
If Persia rushes in, the Greeks will meet it with discipline, not chaos. The trap doesn't spring with a shout. It springs when space disappears. In the strait, the smallest steering error becomes the largest tactical mistake.
Beat B's final step is simple. Make the enemy commit momentum to a place that hates momentum.
Now Beat C begins. Lock the trap with timing.
A trap needs a reserve, because the winning move must arrive on time, not early. Locking the trap means resisting the urge to strike too soon.
This is the moment the corridor starts squeezing back.
When the oars stop, the fleet stops, no matter how many ships are behind it.
Beat C is readable on a table. Jam the center, then strike the side.
The reserve commits because the window is measured in seconds, not minutes.
The key move isn't strength, it's timing plus angle, delivered into a jam.
Inside the corridor, a single clean angle can undo an entire line.
The more Persia tries to correct, the more the corridor denies the correction. From above, the king can see the trap, but he can't reach into the water and widen it.
A choke point battle is also a repair race.
because broken oars are invisible casualties.
The trap only stays closed if the rowers can keep pulling when their lungs burn.
Even the sun becomes part of the plan when you fight in a corridor.
A half-second hesitation is all it takes for a column to become a pile-up. In a panic battle, calm is a tactical advantage. Persia is now fighting two enemies, the Greeks and its own crowding. BCE succeeds when the battlefield itself starts doing the work. A single timed strike, delivered into a jam, can turn order into escape.
Now it's just mathematics. Too many ships, too little water, too late to reverse.
And now the only question is whether Persia can survive the corridor it chose.
Contact begins like a door slamming, fast, loud, and too close to reverse.
Below deck, discipline is the only way to keep fear from taking the oars. The front tries to maneuver, but the strait refuses to give them space. From above, you can see it. The battlefield is not water, it's a funnel. He's not chasing glory, he's controlling the pocket where the jam will grow. Strike now! Hold the line, men! Timing is the weapon, because the strait turns mistakes into collisions. The back keeps pushing, because the back can't see the front. From the heights, his advantage is still visible, until it can't move. Once the oars tangle, maneuver dies, and the fleet becomes drift. Signals mean nothing when the sea denies the maneuver. Even the Greeks feel the chaos, so they fight it with rhythm, not rage. Retreat becomes impossible not because of courage, but because of geometry. On this deck, survival is balance, staying upright while the sea shakes your world. When the rhythm breaks, command breaks with it! The Persian advantage, numbers, has become friction. A king can order an ocean, until the ocean becomes a corridor. He doesn't need perfect information. He needs the moment the enemy can't reorganize.
Disruption spreads faster than orders, because physics doesn't wait for permission.
The pivot isn't at the front, it's in the reserves, waiting for one usable angle. He pushes at the exact second the enemy cannot reset.
This is combined motion and timing, an entry that only works because the strait forces the enemy to hold still.
A smaller fleet wins by rotating pressure, so the enemy never gets a clean breath.
For the rowers, the pivot is felt as pain, because the ship becomes a weapon only when they become a machine.
The moment he understands, it's already too late, because the retreat lane is now a wall.
The pivot turns disruption into a domino. One jam becomes 10.
Power can command men, but it cannot command water to make room.
The trap only works if you don't rush the victory. Like this way.
At the pivot, the battle stops being a line and becomes a collapse in slow motion.
In a strait, retreat isn't a direction, it's a single lane.
The Greeks don't chase ships. They choke the escape route until it stops being real.
Order doesn't break, it dissolves, because everyone is solving a different emergency.
The scariest moment is the half-second of silence, when you realize the battle is turning.
Even in collapse, the Greeks keep clearing their own path, because tempo is everything.
This is the final move. Don't let the enemy reorganize.
He is watching his instrument fail, not from weakness, but from crowding. The sea has become a wall on both sides, and the battle becomes a corridor of consequences. They don't win by one perfect blow. They win by resetting faster than panic. When the lane closes, order turns into escape, and escape turns into silence.
Salamis' fingerprint is simple. The strait is the weapon.
Lesson 1. Constrain space. Make the enemy's advantage collide with itself.
Lesson 2. Break rhythm. Once maneuver fails, command fails.
Lesson 3. Concentrate locally. Rotate pressure where the bottleneck is already forming.
Modern parallel. Decisions under pressure get shaped by bottlenecks, routes, timing windows, and limited options. Modern parallel. Logistics decides how long you can keep tempo. Supplies are strategy made physical.
Modern parallel. Coalitions win battles, but alignment wins wars.
Modern parallel. Leadership is deciding when to commit and when to change the plan without losing the whole campaign.
From battlefield to boardroom, the best weapon is often the environment you choose. Salamis teaches a quiet truth. When space collapses, outcomes accelerate.
Fingerprint lock, constrain space, break rhythm, concentrate locally, then reset before the enemy can breathe.
Sources differ on the exact deception, but most accounts agree the strait turned Persian numbers into friction.
This is historical analysis, not instruction, and different eras and contexts change everything.
The seed of the next disaster is simple. Overconfidence and fracture.
And the enemy learns too. They will adapt, and they will not choose your battlefield twice. Salamis is a triumph, but it is not an ending.
The battlefield goes quiet, but the pressure doesn't.
The bill arrives fast. A failed naval decision forces new choices on land. The bill arrives fast. A failed naval decision forces new choices on land.
He knows what saved them, and he knows what could still break them.
Because what if this victory planted the seed of the next disaster? Salamis proved the sea could be a weapon, but unity is the weapon you can't replace.
A victory like this can turn into pride, and pride can turn into fracture.
Tomorrow, the enemy will choose a different kind of fight.
Adaptation begins the same night. The defeat is felt.
The trap worked, Now the question is whether Greece can survive its own victory.